You're listening to Once Upon a Mama. I'm your host, Molly Ann Luna. Each week we call my mom, the original mom, Barb Ripley, to talk about ways of navigating motherhood at different ages and different stages. Because after all, once a mama, always a mama. Hey, Mom.
Hi, Molly. How are you?
I'm good. What city are you in today?
I'm actually in Clarinda.
Oh, you're home. That's
I
nice.
know. Do you know that I've been off since I left your house?
You've been off of work since
Mhm.
oh, Valentine's Day. That's right. You came out and you gifted Javon and I with a sporadic romantic getaway. That was wonderful.
I wish I could have gifted it to you. You're not very good at receiving gifts.
What? You babysat the baby for a whole day and let us go to Santa Barbara. That's an amazing gift.
I know she was fantastic. It was so fun. But
That's
yeah, I flew from there and then I went to Omaha. I went to the circus with the other grandbabes and been home with my hubby all this time. And tomorrow I actually have to leave to go to work. So
oh
it's
nice. You've gotten
been a nice little break.
a lot of quality time then with your hubs.
Yeah, 2 weekends in a row. He just said yesterday, he goes, "Is this the 3rd weekend in a row you've been home?" I said, "No, just the 2nd, but all the weekends next month I have to work, so I won't be able to spend time with him, so we're just enjoying each other while we can."
That's good. I hope you guys have been getting a lot of good quality time in.
We've been having a lot of good conversations and whatnot, and, tomorrow I'm actually gonna go ride with him to the doctor, and then I'm gonna fly out of Omaha instead of Kansas City. He's gonna drop me off at the airport. So every last second, and then I'll be gone for a week. But hey, did you get that Will Smith video that I came across? I sent it to you.
Oh yeah, the one on Facebook about what it takes to really have a happy marriage.
Oh yes, it so reminded me of things that we've talked about before, and I just wanted to share that with you and your audience to see what you thought of that. I thought it was really interesting because Will and his wife have been together for so long, and many people want to know the secret. And I think that's a good uh,
Yeah, in the video, he shares that his takeaway was that he finally told his wife. He just said, "Look, Jada, I retire. I retire from being responsible for making you happy." And he shares the point of view that you really have to make yourself happy and then come together as a united front if you really want your marriage to flourish and thrive. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I think at first that sounds kind of mean to say, like, you know, I'm not worrying about your happiness, but I mean, he came around and the point was that everybody has to worry about their own happiness and then, like you said, come together and bring their own cup full or partly full. You can't expect someone else to fill it up for you.
I say that all the time. Fill your cup up first. But
Yeah.
when it comes to a marriage, I have to say it's taken me a lot of years to figure that out. So Javon and I, we've been together 10 years now, and I think married for what, maybe 8 of those. And we're only just realizing that. It's like go out and fill yourself up first and then come together, and things are just so much better than in the past when we first got together. I'll be real honest, we both were pretty broken individuals and we relied heavily on one another to continuously pick one another up. And those first few years of marriage for us were very challenging. But what about you and your experience? I know you're on your second marriage now, but you guys have been together for a long time.
16 years, yeah. Well, that's interesting because a couple years ago, when I just started the job of flight attending, and I was still apprehensive about it and nervous, and Phil was driving me out to Las Vegas in the convertible so I could have the car out there, and I was still unsure of the job. And I said, "Hey, if this isn't going to work for us for our marriage, you just say the word, and I'm done." And he's like, "No, actually, it's lifted a burden off me." And that really sat with me. It sat oddly with me for the longest time. I'm like, "Lifted a burden off you? What do you mean? Am I a burden?" Like, I've really been trying to muddle through that. And then you have helped me discover that what he meant was I was expecting him to fill my cup. I was home all the time and I was like, "Now what are we going to do? Now what are we going to do? Now what are you going to do to make me happy?" And that's too much pressure to put on someone. And so that's what he meant by that. But I don't think I could, maybe he didn't even know what he meant by it, but he felt as though a burden had been lifted.
Mm,
Um, and like I said, at first that seemed kind of harsh. I'm like, well, that hurt my feelings. But listening to your talk and listening to the Will Smith thing and learning more about myself, I'm understanding that you can you can be married, but you can still be individuals too. And I thought, oh, we're so much alike. We like the same things. We're together all the time. We're best friends. And our dynamic of our marriage has changed a lot since the new job, but I'm learning that I have interests that are different from his, and he has different interests that are different from mine, but yet we still have the same core common interests. And we're filling our own cups up, and then we're coming together when I'm home and enjoying each other's company without expecting the other person to fill up our cup.
yeah. I I'm just reflecting as you're sharing your story. I'm reflecting on my own marriage and how that's progressed. And I've learned so much from Javon as well. And initially, when we came together, I did have that false sense of romance and thinking that we've got to be the perfect pair that's into the exact same things. And I can think back and how maybe I might have like forced myself to be more interested in some of the things he's interested in. And then I would have a bit of resentment that it wasn't necessarily always reciprocated. And for a while, I was denying some of my own hobbies or interests that really helped me to just feel complete and happy within myself. And it's only been in the last few years that I'm like, you know what? No, it's okay that I have different interests. I like different shows. I like different genre of music, and that I make sure that I'm satisfying myself and my creativity and allowing myself to go out and experience what I want to experience. And it lifts a burden on actually both parties. But I remember Javon said something similar to me about, oh wow, it feels so much better. It's so much less pressure of having to constantly try to make you happy, because now,
Mm-hmm.
and that's perfectly fine with, oh, there's a movie out, I want to go see it by myself. Oh, there's a new
Mm-hmm.
restaurant, I'm going to go have a meal by myself. Whereas before it felt like we have to do everything together.
Well, I'm kind of feeling that way today. I'm like, oh, we only have one day left. Like, what are we going to do? Like, nothing big. We have a movie we're going to watch, and we kind of did some chores around the house and some tasks. But I'm finding out that, oh, you watch things that I would never watch when I'm not home. What are you watching? Oh, I just find this interesting. And when I was here all the time, I live here. I do live here. Well, when I was here all the time, we would just always choose shows that we both were interested in, and that's fine. But I guess I just thought we were so simpatico. I was like, oh wow, we love the same shows, but he actually likes other things, and I like other things, and so it's kind of interesting.
There's that,
Uh,
I think when you first get together, there is that kind of like blending of you kind of both compromise on something, and then there's a part, or at least that's what I've been experiencing over the last couple of years, of like, oh yeah, let me get back to that remembrance of before we were a pair. And
Remember when we were talking the other day about folding the towels and doing the dishes and putting the milk away, all those little things, you know?
yeah, little things that kind of like blend the two of you, and that's fine and it's beautiful because marriage is a new thing. um I mean, it's a new creation, a new identity for yourself, but just not forgetting those pieces, those aspects of yourself that really light you up on the inside. Like for me, it's traveling, it's writing short poems, it's being out in nature. And for my husband, it's different.
Well, I think that I found that very inspiring, and I reminded me of the talk we've had before about what's my sign say again in my kitchen? Be someone that makes you happy. And about that shortly after starting the Southwest job, and kind of had to realize that, hey, you know what? You got to be someone to make yourself happy when you're home and feels at work. Make yourself happy, and then when he gets home, spend time together and enjoy each other. But just you still have to figure out your own stuff too. It's not his problem; it's your problem.
Yes, that's right. It is your problem. It is 100% your responsibility to make yourself happy. And I say that to myself as well. Molly, it is 100% your responsibility to make yourself happy. And then when you come together in the marriage with that full cup and that happiness and self-satisfaction and that personal validation, it just makes coming together so much easier and so much more blissful.
Definitely. Yep. It overflows then.
It
If
does.
you both have a full cup, then it's overflowing onto everything else.
Amen. That's so true.
Amen.
So mamas listening, we'd love to hear from you. What is your insights about this? Are you the type of woman that's willing to go out and to fill her cup first? And if so, have you been noticing a difference in your marriage?
All right. Well, have a great day.
All right, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Once Upon a Mama podcast. Be sure to never miss an episode by subscribing to your favorite podcast app now. If you think these conversations would help another mama, please leave a rating and a review on iTunes to make it easier for her to find the show. If you want links to anything mentioned in today's episode, or you'd like to join the conversation, head over to mindfulmamastv.com/show notes. Follow us on all social platforms at Mindful Mamas TV. And as always, the best conversations and connections happen inside the Mindful Mamas community. Head over to mindfulmamastv.com now to register. This is the place where love-centered women from all over the world come together to connect, share, and grow in both motherhood and business building. Okay, Mama, be sure to share this episode with a girlfriend, and we'll see you right back here next week.